All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of Saber Sims DFS office hours. It is Tuesday, December 5th of 2026 here, and looking ahead, we have a 2-game NBA slate and an 8-game NHL slate. So for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at Saber Sim. This is a show where we go over how to use the Saber Sim app, answer any and all DFS related questions. You get your questions in one of three ways here. First off, send us an email, support@sabersim.com. Second way, post it live in the YouTube chat. Third way, post it in the office hours channel in our Discord server. And if you're not in our Discord and want to get access to that channel, there is a link in the description of this video. You get access to our similar channels, get access to our individual sport channels, as well as the rest of the Saber Sim team. So can't say enough good things about the Discord. But before we get started, as always, want to remind you guys, if you are not participating in our weekly max challenge, there is still time to get in on the action and get in on the rewards. So the link to this page is in the description of this video. We have one for DraftKings, we have one for Owner's Box. You can find both of them in the description. And all you got to do for this DraftKings one, use the green enter the challenge button. Follow the eligibility requirements down here on the bottom, and then you will get access to our weekly rewards and season-long rewards if you have been playing with us for a little while here. So I want to remind you guys of the awesome opportunities there. But with that said, going to get Saber Sim pulled up. Only a couple questions to get us started today. So appreciate you guys, always putting your questions in ahead of time. And if anybody has any questions that they would like to get in now is a good time to ask them. So first question said, I'm already going to post my question for tomorrow's office hours. I'm finally starting to use contest sims. Just watched this video. Notice that Jordan uses min uniques quite aggressively. To be honest, I have never changed min uniques. I always put it to 1. Is there more content that explains min uniques? Because I always thought the best way to be profitable was, because I always thought we want profitable stacks. So when we increase uniques, we get less stacks, right? Okay, very good question here. So really, it's kind of talking about, hey, what are min uniques? How do they work, etc. here. So what I'm going to do first is kick off a build with some lineups here. And then the first place I want to show you guys where to get some information is going to be our support library. So if you go to the top right, go to help, take you to our support library. If you scroll down here to frequently asked questions, we're going to have this option. What does min uniques do? And I posted this in the Discord. I'm also going to post it here as well in the chat for anybody to check out, just in case you guys need that resource. But to get back to the app, right, what min uniques are doing, the too long didn't read version of that video, is they are guaranteeing that so many players within your lineup are different from every other lineup. So one of the best things that you can have in DFS is a set of lineups that are all positive EV, or, in this case, positive sim ROI, but they have neutral correlation to each other. And what I mean is that when one lineup does good, it has minimal effect that another lineup will also do good or do bad. And then if a lineup does bad, you don't want another lineup to be so heavily affected by that one lineup. So what you'll see when in the app usually is that, like on DraftKings or FanDuel, is that when you use low number of min uniques, your lineups are going to be grouped together. Because what SaberSim does not understand risk management. What SaberSim does is identify the best plays in the simulations, and then it jams those players in and gives you a lot of them, right? That's why when you come over here, you run 20 lineups with min uniques of 1. We see 2 players at 100%. We see 5 players over 80%. Like, these are, very heavy exposures. So like if 2 of these players do bad, then hey, all of your lineups are going to be on the left, on the bottom side of your standings. But these players do good, then all of them kind of are going to be on the right? They're very tight. They share a lot of common players. So what min uniques does is it decreases this factor. And the way it does it by saying like, hey, if my min uniques is at 4, then lineup 1 must have at least 4 players different from lineup 2, and then same thing for lineup 3, etc., etc. The way it does this is lowering exposures, adding players to the player pool, and just giving you a more diverse set of lineups overall. So this is a great option to come in here and do some risk management. So what I can see here, right, at min uniques of 1, we're at 23 players in our player pool. And then if I crank this up, to say like 6, right, We don't have enough lineups, so let's try 5. So 5 is the max here. We go from 23 to 30, and then now no player is owned over 55% in our lineups, as opposed to previously where we had 5 players over 80%. So this helps you to get more spread out on any given slate. And then look, it didn't even add that many players to your player pool while still bringing these exposures much more down. And then what this will look like on your actual app is that your lineups will be kind of more spread out through the contest. So if one lineup's doing bad, that's not an indication that all of your lineups are going to be pulled to the left. You're more likely to have more lineups that are spread out through the contest and then aren't affected by an injury or a bad performance from one or a small number of players from your exposures here. So that's what Mini Uniques does. It does not have a major effect on like stacking. I know you mentioned that. Like, increasing your mini uniques is not going to lead to you getting less stacks. It's going to lead to you getting different stacks. So think about it in that regard. So the lineups were still built with correlation, still built with sim diversity, still built using our play-by-play sims. And then now we're just kind of weeding through this pool, trying to find a set of lineups that are lowly correlated to each other. And then if one lineup does bad, your rest of your lineups still have a chance to win your contest. So that's what Mini Uniques does. Very good question to get us started. All right, 2 questions here from Gatekeeper. These are our last questions at the moment. So if anybody has follow-ups, now's a good time to get those in. So first question, is there a – hold on, this is messed up. Is there a way to see cumulative ROI when building lineups? Okay, so I think I know what you're referring to, and let me know if I'm wrong. But what I think the question is in regards to, so like if you run a contest sim, right? If I go to my contest sim settings and I open up a contest sim and then I kick this off. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the ROI of each individual lineup in your pool. When you go back to a past slate, right? And I'll demo this right now as soon as this contest sim finishes. So let's let the sim finish, and then we'll keep it rolling. It's because I built 5,000 lineups today instead of 500. I forgot to decrease my pool. But okay, so contest sim just finished. So you're going to see down here, right? You're going to see the sim ROI of each individual lineup, okay? When you go back to a past slate in like contest flashback, go back to yesterday. Yep, it was yesterday. Go into contests. Go to all contests. Pick a contest. So here, right? Like, let's say I select a user, and we'll go with somebody who entered more lineups. So say I go to Elusive Smoke, right? It's like not only can I see the individual ROIs of each lineup, I can see the ROI of his entire portfolio. I could see, hey, all 10 of these lineups, this is how he graded out in regards to sim ROI. So I think that's what is in question here. And you can let me know if I'm wrong. But the answer is no, you can't see that in the pre-contest sim. So the way the pre-contest sim works is it looks at your lineups in your pool. And then one by one, it takes a lineup, inserts it into a contest with the rest of our field lineups, plays that contest out 100,000 times, returns the metrics, grabs the next lineup, puts it into the contest with the field lineups, runs it. So all of your lineups are not in a single contest sim together. Each lineup is in a contest sim with the field lineups one by one. So that is how it's working. And then at the end, when we see the actual lineups, how many everyone entered, then we give you those portfolio ROIs. So that's the way it works. But gotcha. And you said that's exactly what I was looking for. So glad I understood your question. Definitely happy I got that one right. All right. Question, is Geomean beneficial for an NBA 2-game slate? I think it can be. And what I would do is I would go through the similar process that we use for NFL Showdown. And if you guys need a refresher on that, go back to our help docs, type in geometric. And then we have this video, how to ownership product and ownership geometric mean work here. It's a pretty short video, gives you an explanation how to apply it as a rule and as a filter here. So just drop that in the chat. What I found is that you end up not getting rid of that many lineups overall. So you could try it. You might be able to trim your lineups a little bit here. What it really comes down to, in my opinion, is that the number of players is a lot more than like Showdown. So like having 8 players in your lineup in this mathematical formula is a lot different than having 6 players in your lineup. And just the way that the ownerships work out, like, still like only highest ownership here is like 50%. But if you're playing like an NFL Showdown, you're going to see guys at 80%, guys at 70%, right? You're going to see a lot higher ownership. So there's just like a lot of different ways you can still pivot. The player pool overall is still pretty big here with like, I don't know, say like 10 viable players per team. So like 40 players overall. So you can definitely incorporate it and see if you end up trimming your pool. I would just expect that trimming effect to be less than if you were to use it for like a Showdown, but it doesn't hurt. All right. Isaac said, is it possible to download the late swap lineup pool? I don't know. And I can't test this right now because I don't have like an active late swap, but I can ask. So let me just make a note here. Is late swap pool downloadable? And then you know what? I will just pose this as a question to our team, and then maybe we can get an answer before the end of the show. So let me just ask. So is late swap or are late swap pools downloadable? Are late swap pools? If we get an answer before the end of the show, I will share it. If not, I will let you guys know about that one tomorrow. All right. Next question from Chuck. Are contest sims based on the entire sim database, or is it relative to the sliders used for the build? Great question. So the way that the contest sim works is that we imagine running a build on Sim Diversity 10. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and grab a single sim from each game on the slate, create a slate simulation, play that out, assign the fantasy point values to the players, and then therefore assign the fantasy point values to the lineups in your contest sim, and then assign the payouts based on how your lineups did, based on how the players did. And then we are going to make a note of like, okay, contest sim 1, these were the standings, this lineup won, and then contest sim 2. And then at the end, we take all of that information and then provide you with the contest sim metrics. So it's basically like running a build on Sim Diversity 10. You're taking a single game sim of each game on the slate and creating a slate simulation. And then that's contest sim 1. Do it again for contest sim 2, et cetera, et cetera. Very good question. Stanley said, I've had issues with adding lineups to my favorites. It would stop well before the 500 max. Was that addressed in the recent update? Let's go look. So another great reason to be in the Discord is you get access to our release notes channel where Scott puts updates for when bugs get fixed. So it looks like there was an update yesterday. It said one bug fix was not being able to save to favorites properly after viewing them the first time. So it's very possible that your bug was addressed with this update. If you try it again and it was not, do me a favor, go to the top right, go to report a problem, send us an update, and then I will get it back over to the front end team, and then they can work on it. But looks like they are doing some work around the favorites, and it's very possible that your bug was addressed in the work that they're doing. All right, let me get back to office hours. So it looks like we are all caught up with questions in both the office hours channel and the Discord. So if that is it for today, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, I will be right back here tomorrow, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern for our next show. So until then, guys, take care. Good luck. I will see you all. Thanks. Bye.